Hi everyone and welcome back to Let's Build. This is a selection of tutorials and how-tos using the Neverwinter Nights 2 toolset. So here we are in our sea cave area. I have continued to place placeables down as I explained in the previous video. I haven't done anything particularly different or new to what I showed you before, so we can move on to some other items of interest very shortly. But I will run you through just some of the things that I have done. So I've got more of these rocks placed down along the edges of the tile mainly. We have done some work in the centre as well, but yeah, we've got formations of rocks. I've used different sizes, I've played around with rotations and things like that, just to give a good example of how versatile placeable placement can be. We've got another rock pool ready to be filled in there, and also over here as well. So yeah, we've got rocks placed all around the edge. We may add more later on, but for now these will serve perfectly well. We need to add our cave entrance in next, which is why I'm not too concerned about that tile that doesn't want to tint and change with all the others. At the end there we can sort that out as we go. And then the centre, where we're going to have more water in the middle there, I've placed a few other little placeables down, including this wrecked rowboat that's drifted in. And then we've got bits of like debris, things like that lying around, and you know, that should all look really nice once we get the water filled in. What we are going to do next is look at some trees, or in this case it will be like ground cover really, so like shrubs, things like that, just anything to help break up the ground a bit, and particularly like around this centre tile here, this little issue we've got going on with the change in textures, because it won't copy onto that one for some reason, but that's not a problem, we can easily deal with that. So first we're going to crack on with placing down the ground cover that we wanted, and I have some in mind for this as well. So I'll just get out what I was doing there. So in the blueprints column here, we want to go to the trees tab, and inside this selection you have all kinds of trees and plants and things, all split into categories. So one suitable for desert, for instance, some that are flowering all year round, winter, so bits of snow on them, etc, etc. So have a good look around on those. We're going to be looking at the shrubs here, and there is some in there that I particularly would like to use, but as you can see there's quite a selection here just in the shrubs list alone. And yeah, you can place your objects down, but as you can see they're fully sort of animated trees and everything, so they will sort of move as if they're catching the breeze or things like that. There's a huge variety available, and yeah, they really do add a lot to your areas. So the ones we want to get our hands on here are going to be, if I can remember now, bottle brush, I think it was. Yes, that's the one. So what these things, they look a little seaweedish like, kind of. It's something a bit like that anyway, something just a bit like a weed, and this seems to be the best one for the area to when I was having a little check through them earlier. But these are all the sort of ones I have in mind. So we have two versions of them there. We've got this one here, and we have this sort of larger spread selection here. So what we'll do is we'll get some of this placed down now, and we'll see if we can get some more interesting variations on the go. We will do, you may remember the tree randomizer I was speaking about in the first episode. It was one of the plugins that we will run once we've placed all the trees we care to use, because it can, all it will do is if you keep randomising it will just keep cycling through, and I prefer just to do it all in bulk once we've got everything down. So it may look a bit samey to start with, but my hope is once we run the randomizer we should get some more interesting appearances for these shrubs. So we're going to place that one down there just for the minute. But I mean, if you do prefer to do it by hand, then you can change the scale of the object, just like with a placeable object. And then the random seed that I mentioned in episode 1 as well, you can go and change that if you want. So I mean, just for the hell of it, I will just type in, I mean, you can type in any old number you want here. I mean, it takes massive numbers, let's just say we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go with that. Now watch, and we get a little shuffle, and that's thickened up the concentration a bit there. So just for the hell of it, we'll just leave that as it is there. But what the randomizer will do is it will do that for us. We can say how many different seeds we want, and then it will prepare the trees in, along those lines. Though you do need to be careful with how many seeds you're using, but we'll come to that when we actually run the randomization. We'll drop a bit in the middle here. And again, when you control, trying to place trees, it's exactly the same sort of controls as placeable. So you can move things up, you can use the arrow keys to get them around, stuff like that. So we'll get these. Maybe I want these in the water slightly. That might be a good height there. We'll see when we actually put it all in. Ooh, don't want that one. So we'll get these sort of smattered down for the minute. We can always look at the finer details later. We are going to have to sink these a bit though. Don't want them sticking up too high. But we can look at the size later. We can have a little play around with that and get the randomizer to also adjust their size as well. You can specify a range in terms of size that you like to use, and then we can always take that. Yeah, I'm literally going to spray these down, and hopefully we'll get something we want. I mean, if we don't, we can always just delete them and go again. So I'm going to just spray them down for the minute, because I'm using them as a nice means of just breaking this line up a bit. So we've got that bit there. We will have some more just around here, but I just want to make sure that we're not dropping them hanging over the edge. It's alright just there, we'll get those in there. Okay, not so bad, that's alright. We are going to need a little something down here as well. We'll just spray them a little bit there. Alright, we'll start with that. Let's, for the hell of it, we will get the randomizer on it right now, just with what we have here. I do normally leave it to the end, but I'm quite keen to see what we get out of this. So let me slow down here. So I go now to plugins, and we want randomized trees. So we just click on that, and it will run our tree randomizer for us. Now that we have trees in the area, so it's a very small area. So we can be quite generous with the seeds here. There is a note on the plugin saying Obsidian doesn't recommend using more than 5 seeds per area. Now that has kind of proven to be not entirely, it's kind of a misleading warning, to be honest, because you can use more than 5 seeds and have no real performance issues. I mean, take one example, in Umbral Abyss, one of the exterior areas uses about 20 seeds for the trees in that area, and I had, and other players indeed had no notable performance issues or anything like that. So I mean, don't go absolutely mental with it, but certainly you can use a healthy number of seeds. But bear in mind, obviously, for every different type of tree object you use, that is 1 seed immediately there. Yeah, always bear that in mind. So we're going to go, like I said, I think we'll go with 20 seeds for this area, because I think plant life is just about all weeds really. Now the variants on the weeds, we are going to see if we can get them to be generally smaller than they already are. Now we don't really want X and Y would be like sort of widthways and lengthways. The only thing we want to change is the potential height of the trees, and that is always the Z axis. Z is always height. So we're going to okay, I can't actually go down on here. Right, we'll get out of here. We're going to jump out, and I'm going to show you a means of getting all these trees selected. Now we could do it through the area contents list here, and we can also if we're on the renderer window, there is a button here called show and hide. Now this is very handy when you're trying to manipulate objects where maybe you only want all the ones of a certain type to be visible, or if something's in your way, and often it is trees that are in the way when you're trying to select something. But what we're going to do here is we're going to first hide everything, and now everything's vanished. Don't panic, it's all still there. And now we want it to only show trees, so we're just going to click on trees, and now all the weeds we placed down are all appearing here. So that was one way, and then obviously you can go and select the objects, and obviously there is a drag you can do as well. But for argument's sake, we're going to do it through the area contents tab, and with that you can select an object and it'll bring up the properties for you from looking at that, and that's from having the trees tab clicked on. And you can also do a multiple selection as well, so holding down control and then clicking, you can get multiple items that way. If you just want the whole lot, hold down shift and click to the bottom, and we have the whole lot there now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust their size now. I'm going to go with a 0.5, so that should be a 50% reduction in size. And that's actually come out rather well, hasn't it? We've got much low level foliage now. I'm going to be a little bit cheeky and try and drop it down to 0.3. I think that might work as well. Good, so we'll keep that. So that's done. Now next what we're going to do is we are going to run the randomizer again, and we're going to go with a Z variance, and we'll allow a variance of 10%. So let's be a bit more generous, let's call it 20%. So they could potentially be up to 20% taller, so it'll be random. It'll cycle for each one and apply a scaling to each one, and there's a range it'll use there. So let's see what we get now. We randomise that with our 20. Oh, I didn't get all the seeds, did I? Oh, we did, yep, we did, I think. Yep, okay. So that's that. Clear that off, okay, and get out of that. And now, if I look at it, it's broken up a lot now. We've got all kinds of angles coming off them. We've got different sort of densities, things like that. So that's come out rather well. Definitely, yes, I like that. That's it looks wild and knocked about, and that's the look we want. So there we go. I mean, that's a very quick way of getting your trees randomized, and yeah, the tree randomizer plugin, absolutely make use of that one. It's very handy, and it's a big time saver. And I think, you know, the results are, you know, a lot better than you could probably get on your own. Right, what we'll do next then is we'll get the water down and just make sure we have these weeds here at the right height. Now we already have some water down in the area, and I know it's possible to get the water settings if you select terrain, that button there at the top, click on the bit where the water is, and you notice then the height just changed, so it's actually at the same settings now. So if I go to paint terrain, get a small brush for the water just for the minute and paint that in, and we are sort of running over the edges, so we're going to have to get some so to even the height out a bit. Now you may be saying, well, why don't you just lower the water? Now there's a reason why I haven't done that. Okay, so let me get the I just want the grid now. Let's see if we can get it. So when you paint water, and this applies to an exterior area as well, there is two types of tile. So obviously you have an individual tile, which is a square, and then you've got a mega tile, a megatile is 4 tiles squared. So that, you may notice in yours, I mean it's probably hard to see on my screen here, but there is a thicker red line with every 4 tiles there. So that is a megatile. That is a megatile. There's a megatile. There's 4 megatiles in this area. Now water can, you can only have 1 water setting per megatile. So as you can see here in this megatile, which is this corner, we have a patch of water there, and we have this water here. And in fact, almost the entire area is going to be on that megatile. The 2 pools we got there will fit into that megatile, and they will be subject to their own properties. So essentially, I need to keep this together. And now, if I were to suddenly change the settings in any way to do with this water, it will immediately affect that one as well. So if I suddenly change the height, it'll affect them both. If I change the smoothness and such, it'll affect them both again. So and obviously water settings we will come to more closely later. So that's why I'm going to have to implement something here to break this off, and that's fine. We'll be a little bit creative, and we'll have a play around with the edge, and in turn that might help us with this piece here as well. So if I go to small brush now, we get some water, and just bring up the edge. We'll paint it in however we like. If it means going over the weeds, so be it, because the weeds can stick over the water. That's absolutely fine. So there we go, we'll go with that. And now there shouldn't be much height difference between the ground and the water either, so that's good. Right, so now we just need to get some of our rocks, a bit like we did with this pool here, and just start piecing together a kind of an edge just to hold the water in, because you know it would look silly if we just had water just sitting there. Right, I'm going to hide the trees like I just showed you earlier, and now we can sort of finish our edge off all around the edge. So we can always move some of these bits of place. They're not set in position yet. It is possible to lock your placeables in condition, in position as well, and the way to do that is, we're going to come back to this, but I'll do it now just to show if people are running into trouble with things moving about. Once you've got a placeable where you want it, you're happy with the position. When you're in the properties, you want to scroll down to the lock section, and you have, what am I talking about? MISC section, and there is 2 options. You've got height lock and you've got position lock. Height lock only means that the placeable cannot be raised or lowered at all. So I'm trying to raise and lower that now with the mouse roller. Can't do it. However, even with height lock enabled, I can still move the placeable around like so. But what position lock will do is it will completely lock that placeable in place now. So I cannot move it. I'm trying to drag it around. I can't drag it. I can't raise or lower it. And that's very handy when you're building very fiddly sort of parts that may require multiple placeables working together, things like that. And obviously adjusting terrain in an exterior area can cause placeables to be bumped about and knocked out of position and stuff. So it's always wise that once you are fully decided on where something's going to be, you get it position locked, and it just saves you a lot of pain down the line. Right, I am literally going to border this thing now with rock, and then we'll add some more spiky rocks and things just to give it a bit of variety. But as it stands there, this will be perfectly fine. I think we'll give that a rotate there just to, it doesn't always look the same. Bring in another around the back here, good thing about a lot of placeables is they just work very well either in combinations or even just linking them together like this. I mean, this is such a simple thing to do, but often the most simplest little techniques give you the best results. I mean, a lot of areas in our campaigns and that, there's nothing particularly there's nothing mind-blowing about them. In the process is generally quite simple. Come up with a rough idea and then experiment around with just trying to get the best out of what's available to us, and comes in fine. So we're nearly there with this one now. We've just got to get these pieces in without it looking too repetitive. Obviously we are going to break this up with some jaggedy pieces and such. Now this corner, I may not even have to run any across here because we do have this this smashed up rowboat in the way, and that's probably going to be helpful, to be fair. So I could actually lower that in a bit just to chip a little end off it maybe, and then we'll get the rest of this down. And then we'll plant this there. Now we can just put in our little details now. So that's broken the edge up there. We've got a nice rock pool now. Quite like the reflections actually, they're quite good. But it's not the final product yet, so we'll find out later on. Now then, we want some more uneven pieces of rock to get in position now. You see what I did there? I clicked on the one that was that we locked in position. So if I try and copy paste a rock that was already in position, now I'm not good. It will stay exactly where it is. So we'll hit select object, so we lose the copy that was floating around. We'll go with this one here. So I've Control C, Control V. So I've copied it, and I'm just going to paste another down. But we don't want these rocks to be like anything like as big as the ones on the edges, so we're going to go with a reduction in size of 0.5 by 0.5 by 0.5, and there we go. We put that in there. That looks a bit more interesting. We'll put another one in just over this way here, and we'll rotate it as well, just so a variety. Copy paste again, and we'll have another one just around there. We'll spin that round, and we could use that one again if we wanted. Let's go get it there, copy pasted, and we'll again change the size, and this time we're going to leave the length and width as it was before. We're going to increase the height to 0.7. We get even extra spikiness, so we'll drop that just down there. Now we'll use a different rock. We'll go with this one here. Very simple, just copy paste, click on your desired placeable, and there we go. So this one here will drop just like that. Get that in just there. We'll give another one looking like that, and we'll pop that one just there. And like before, we'll take it and we'll do a little bit of changing. We'll give it a 1.2 in another direction, and we'll give that a 0.4 so it sticks up a little bit more, and we'll drop that one just here, the back. That'll do very nicely. And we'll just grab another rock. There we go, it's a single standing one here, and we can embed that into there like that. Just drop it down. Very nice. Because it's nice and tall, we can just keep changing its height as we go. Make that one quite shallow. There we are. And one more in here, just in the corner. Perfect. A bit more. There we are. Oh, that's better. And we just need a little bit more. Let's take this one here. Oh no, maybe not that one. We've got this little spiky one here. Alright, this would be a good one to have. So we'll drop that there, bring that down. Just copy and paste, and you can keep doing that to your heart's content until you're happy with whatever you've got. You know, and this applies to any placeable arrangement. It could be chairs and tables, it could be a stack of plates. You know, whatever you're doing, the same rule essentially applies. Right, we just need a little bit more. And I think we've kind of broken up the appearance of it all a bit now. Right, that's certainly better. That's a step forward. What I will do is I'll re-enable the trees, and yeah, sure enough, I think we're going to have to, because we've had a good go here. I mean, it was all a nice example earlier, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all the trees and just dispose of them for now. I just deleted them, and we'll replace them at the end. But I just thought it was just worth just showing them in action. I'm just doing a save here because I'd hate to lose my progress. Chop chop. There's obviously more to save than I thought there was. Right then. So that's that. We have a little pool in the middle where the water contained in. We've got a bit of variation in the appearance as well. So that's good. What I thought we'd do next is we'll just look at the entrance here, get rid of this ugly thing at the end, and we'll get something a little more pleasant in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Blueprints tab, have placeables highlighted, get rid of what I had there, and just type in cave. And what we'll do is we'll then get a nice list of caves entrances or cave related placeables, and we'll try and find a good entrance for the area. So what I need to do actually is when you're doing like caves and things, it's always good to get a reference of what the other side of the door looks like. So basically the colour of the cave entrance in the area where you enter from. So what we're going to do is, while this is sitting open, we're going to open the connecting area. So you can get a little treat here, I suppose, which I could probably talk about it as well. Is it connects to this shipwreck area, but I'm mainly interested in the appearance of the entrance because I can't quite remember. So here is an exterior area that it connects to. You can see it's quite a spectacular little shipwreck sitting on the coast there. The area itself is not entirely finished, but this is yeah, an exterior that I spent a good amount of time on, and yeah, it's still ongoing, but where you can get an idea of maybe the locale. Any one of Middle Earth experts out there might be able to deduce what sort of area this might be. But anyway, we'll head over to the cave entrance, which is over here. So I used that, did I? Right. So it was quite some time ago when I made this now. Okay. So that was worth a gander, wasn't it? There we go. We've got some of the placeables in use. And this is not moulded terrain. This is actually placeable cliff. But as you can see, we will get to exteriors in the future, but all this was moulded from exterior tiles and things. So, but all this, you know, we will certainly touch on at some point and get a good idea of how to, you know, get a reasonably good-looking area to go, depending on what your tastes are. All right, I think we've seen enough of this, so we will close this area. Don't need to save that area, so let's get out of that. Right, so a cave, we want a cave entrance. So we're going to have a look through these and see what we can do. That's no, 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 and no. Right, let's go to some of our custom content and we'll see if we can get some cave entrances out of here. Something that matches the one we had outside. That one's not a bad match at all, if a little tall. Let's see what else we have. Ah, there we go. That one's perfect. So that's exactly the same as the one we've got outside. So we might as well use that. As you can see, it is huge, but we only need the entrance. If I turn it around, or if I missed it there. There we go. We are going to shrink this down. We'll go with 0.5 by 0.5 by 0.5. Bring that up. Let's see now. Bit of a funny design, this cave entrance. I've never been too sure about it, to be honest, but it does look nice from the outside. You know what? No, we're not going to use it. It's very strange. Certainly don't want that one. Right, got some other ones here. RWS caves. Not much good to us either. Let's have a look at these ones. Right, that one's not so bad. What on earth that's supposed to be? Secret cave door. Okay. I haven't enabled that one. Haven't enabled that one. That's a bit too big. Right, we'll go back to I am looking around here. We need to be more decisive. Right, can I tint the RWS ones? If I can, then I think we're getting somewhere. Oh, that's got like a built man-made piece in it. We don't want that at all. We want natural cave entrances and things. So that is probably a good one if we can get the tint we want. It looks like we can as well. So we'll have a look at this options here. And all this on is exactly the same stuff that I've been doing before, so there's nothing particularly new here. You select your tints, have a play around, and yeah, oh, that's perfect. Look at that. We can get some good colours out of that. So that's the right sort of look there. Can I do much with these other tints? I can. Oh, it's Christmas again already. Right. I think we'll keep this one a little bit more rocky coloured, and then this final tint, we'll use it just to darken up a little bit. There we go. I suppose that one will do reasonably well. That. Oh, okay, a bit of a tool set lock up there. Right, let's we'll turn the grid off because it's annoying me slightly there. Now, what we need to do is get the entrance. I've tidied up with the entrance of the cave there. That's it. Back it up a little bit. See how far back we can go before we. Right, okay, we're getting a bit too far there. Bring that forward. There we go. That's perfect. He says. We have a slight little gap in the side there. I'm just going to shut this off for now because I have to come back to it. Yeah. Okay. That's good enough for the minute. I'm just going to save it there. So we now have a cave entrance in place, and we have some quite a lot of placeables down. And I think it might be worth having a quick look at the area again in game and just seeing what we have to work with right now. So we'll place the start point down. We'll just turn this around here. Starting point. And that's that thing we have to do before we load the game up. We need to bake the area. However, something horrible is about to happen when I do hit the bake button. But here we go. I'll show you. So it's doing its thing, it's baking up just like it did before. And you might think that once it's all baked, we'll have a nice path worked all around these placeables and everything will be hunky-dory. That's not going to be the case, because I know for a fact the walk mesh is going to be non-existent. But that's alright, it's fine. So I've got the area together there, and now I'm going to turn surface mesh on. Okay, seems okay. Let's hit baked. Okay, better than I thought. But as you can see, it's cut a mesh out for all these placeables here, so we've got lines in all around this stuff here, so we cannot cross any of that to get, we can't get into the pool. We wouldn't be able to anyway, because it would cut around it. As you can see here, we have a cut going on just around here. It's like the player could barely get through that side actually. So all that's in place, and our cave entrance has even cut a little passage out for us there as well, which is pretty good actually. So yeah, the walk mesh has cut a lot better than I thought it would. I thought we'd have a lot of blockages and things like that, but that's fine. We will be optimizing this area later on when I'll introduce you to special tools available to help you improve the cut of the walk mesh. Just move the start area along a bit there, and now we can jog on into the area and we could have a good look at that now. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start at the game, and I will see you there where we'll have a quick wander around our the latest version of the area. So bear with me. Okay, and welcome to our cave area. And as you can see, it's come on quite a long way since our last run through. I've also improved the brightness and everything, because I noticed that that what I was putting online was a lot darker than it was when I was actually working on it. So yeah, I've had a play around with my screen and everything, and I think we've got a much better brightness level now. So yeah, we can just about get through there, but as you can see, we've got our rocks down in here, and you might notice that there's quite a the colour between the rocks and the walls is really it's quite striking. But we've yet to work on area lighting, which also includes like the general natural lighting for the area and things like that. So we will be able to influence these sort of tones later on and really start to get a good atmosphere in the area. So that might actually be the next thing we do, because I think that'll make things a little more easier and I think a more enjoyable experience going forward, at least for me anyway, because I do like to get the area environment and the settings, the lighting and that set up quite early, just so it kind of puts me in the mood while I'm working then. You may find that helps you too. But we have a good good little area at the minute, and there's still a good bit more to do, but we've laid down a lot of the main detail here. So yeah, that was nice. We had a nice quick run around. We've got our cave entrance there, and it's getting the roof onto it there. Yeah, it looks about right. It's fine, that is. So we can work with that. So we've got. It's always nice to have like a natural cave entrance. Rather than, it'd be weird just having a little door on the end of it, wouldn't it? It's always nice, I think, to actually just shove a cave entrance on the other side as well. So that's where we are at the minute. So we will head back to the tool set now, and we shall continue. I'll see you there.